Hi everybody, welcome back to Market Monday. My name is Sally Campuzano with Signature Realty, and today I'm very excited. I'm doing a special segment. I want to talk about homeowners insurance, and not just that, but I know that buying a home can be, one of your biggest investments, and it's very important to protect it. So today I've brought out Ahsan from iiybiig, who's going to talk to us all about homeowners insurance, go in depth, and he's going to cover all the coverages that come along with homeowners insurance. So Ahsan, welcome. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me, Sally. Great to be here. I'm glad you brought me on. Homeowners insurance, there's a lot to kind of know, and there's a lot of differences as people are looking to buy different homes and looking to figure out what the right level of insurance to have.
Right.
So I put together a little bit something. I mean, it's important to know no homeowners insurance policy is exactly the same. So, before you choose, please ask the agent that you're actually speaking with to actually specify these things. But we're going to go a lot of tips to kind of have you know what questions to ask and where to look as you're determining which policy you want to go with.
Absolutely. So we want to go over, some of the questions that you want to ask your insurance agent. So when you're shopping around, make sure that you're asking these particular questions just so that you're better informed. And some of the tips that Ahsan has for us is, for example, one is dwelling replacement cost. So what do you want to kind of ask about that?
Yeah, so whenever you're shopping for like a homeowner's insurance policy, that is an optional endorsement. Okay. So it may not be on there, but it can save you a lot of money, right? So if you look over here on the very first section right here where it says loss settlement, replacement cost. So what that means is in the event, let's say the amount of coverage you selected for your policy wasn't adequate enough, if you have that endorsement, that means the company will pay for additional costs and reconstruction, knock on wood, if something like that was to happen.
If something bad were okay.
So it's great to have on there, and then you never know when something like that could happen. So I always tell everybody, if you're getting a quote and if you're comparing different policies, make sure you have and know what the difference is to have that endorsement on. It's usually not too expensive. Okay,
good. Another thing we have here is the personal property replacement cost.
Yep. So the first point that we talked about was for the dwelling, so like for the structure of the house. Okay. Right? The second part is for all your personal belongings. So
everything that's inside the house.
Yeah, so if your couch is 5 years old, instead of you having a depreciated value on your couch, it's the cost for you to go back to the store and repurchase that same couch.
Got it. Okay. So again, these are basically tips that we want to keep in mind, things that you want to ask and make sure are included in your policy. Another thing we have here is there a hurricane or a wind deductible?
Yes. Yes. So if you look here on the quote where it says all peril loss is subject to a deductible of $1,000, right? So the quote that I have here, there is no hurricane deductible and there is no wind deductible. Okay. And wind damage is the most common types of claims that people have to file. So what that means is if you have a hurricane deductible, it would be listed right next to it usually, depending on who you're using, but it's usually right next to each other. Okay. And I'll tell you, hey, if there was a hurricane damage, then there's a separate deductible. And sometimes I've seen hurricane deductibles $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 that you have to pay out of pocket before. And a hurricane is when the National Weather Society determines that the wind speed is 73 miles an hour or more. Okay. Wind is just any other. So there is a distinction between those two. And I just always like to tell people, I see when people are shopping for homeowners insurance, they may not notice that they even have that on there. Okay. So I tell them to specifically ask at that time.
Perfect. Number 4, water backup.
Did we skip one?
It's more self-explanatory.
No. Oh, okay. Yep. Water backup. Yep. So in the event, let's say, your sewer line, that was probably somewhere like around here. If the line that's running across the street is backed up and the water can't go down the path that it usually goes, and it's being backed up and it's causing, your faucets to overload and it cause damage to the house. Okay. If you don't have that endorsement on there, then you don't have coverage. Similar to also like a sump pump. So if the sump pump can't pump out the water fast enough, the water overflows and it gets into the house.
It's just not going to work.
Yep.
Okay. So that covers that. And then service line.
Yep. So service line, that's, I tell everyone to really look out for that one. So service line is, picture the electric line, the water line, and the gas line, right? That run on your property going down to the street. So what's on your property is your responsibility.
Absolutely.
The town doesn't cover that.
Yep.
So in the event something happens to any of those items
Right.
and you don't have that endorsement,
Yeah.
it's on you. And
Right,
I've
it's
seen
on you.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of money. Yeah, that's one thing to point out too, because some people don't know that once, you go past your property line and whatever happens on the street, could be on you essentially. So you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're covered for those things.
Absolutely.
Even though it's not technically your property. And that's
Yeah.
basically what you're
Well,
suggesting
especially
here.
on your lawn. And sometimes I've
Yeah.
seen people that they have to do excavation, they have to get the
Right.
pipe repaired or replaced, and it
Sure.
costs sometimes $8,000.
Yeah.
And the policy's not covering it. So that's a great one to have on there too. And I would just want to point out, like if we look on the page here, that service line coverage is only $35 for the whole year for $15,000 in coverage.
Right. It's
So-
absolutely worth it. Something you want to ask about again, you want to, include in your policy. And then the last thing is equipment breakdown.
Yep. So I want you to picture, all your appliances, your stove, refrigerator, furnace, hot water heater, all those things.
Okay.
Now, if there's a fire, yes, it's covered.
Sure.
But if it just needs to be repaired or replaced, if you don't have that endorsement, you may want to have to go get like a third-party home warranty endorsement.
Got it.
But if you look here on this company, right, it's only costing you $32 for the whole year to have $50,000 of coverage with a $250 deductible. Now, some of these endorsements, they're not offered by every carrier. Some of them are optional.
Right.
So if you're getting a quote from someone who doesn't offer it, that's why it's great to kind of compare to see.
Right. You want to compare and contrast and see what fits you too, your particular scenario, your particular home.
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great. So I do also want to go over these letters that we have.
Yeah,
right
let's
here.
go over the coverages. So,
Awesome. So the first one you see coverage A, which is your dwelling. So Sally, if you wouldn't mind, if you
Sure.
want to grab the house,
Okay.
right? Grab the house, flip it upside down,
Okay.
and shake everything out of it, right? Now this is just a good visual presentation, right? So
Okay.
everything left in your hands,
Uh-huh.
right, is covered by coverage A, which is your dwelling,
Okay.
right? Everything that fell out is covered by coverage C, which is your personal property.
Got
Right?
it.
You did this as an example to kind of help give you a visual of what covers what, right?
Right.
So coverage A, which was your dwelling,
Mm-hmm.
right? On this particular quote, we have $407,000 in coverage.
Okay.
But that replacement cost endorsement, if it did end up costing $425,000, $450,000, you have coverage there in the event that it costs more to
More than
reconstruct
that.
your
Oh,
home.
perfect.
Yep. Coverage B is for other structures. So think of like a detached garage, a shed, a pool is
Oh,
also
pool
another
too.
example.
Okay.
Yep. Of what will be covered under your other structures. And all these letters that you see here,
Sure.
no matter what company you're looking at, they're going to be listed like that. You do want to ask your respective agent for each company, please let me know about, any fine print of what actually is covered, but you're going to be able to see that all right down the dart as you're comparing different quotes.
Got it. Awesome. Actually, honestly, this
Yeah.
is perfect.
Good.
Thanks for the information, and
Thank you.
this helps a lot of people who are coming in as new buyers, or people who are just purchasing a home. It's good information for them to know that you have them covered, or any insurance agent. But
Yep.
I highly recommend Ahsan. He's awesome. He's very knowledgeable, and will get you the best quote possible.
Thanks.
So again, I want to thank you for coming out.
No,
and
thank you so much for having me. And also, I just want to add, if
Sure.
anybody would like this tip card to maybe look at their existing policy or make sure they have it when they're looking to buy,
Sure.
if they want to reach out, I can mail it to them. They can
Awesome.
come, they can grab it too. So they have these tips.
Yeah, this is actually a great reference. I was looking over it and it's amazing. It's good tips, good information when you're shopping around. So definitely, if you're interested in one of these, let us know and we'll, we'll email it out to you, mail it out to you, whatever's best.
Thank you, Sally.
Okay, thanks
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a nice day.